Hi there, greetings from Israel. My name is Joey, and welcome to Staying Safe. In the video you're about to watch, we're going to talk about self-defense. Now, I want to put a few things out of the way before we continue. In this video, we are going to give you principles and habits that you can use on an everyday basis to make your life healthier, safer, and calmer. Now, I say this because if you're like me and you've been around the internet, you've probably seen a lot of self-defense videos that have to do with technique. They mainly base around technique, like how to punch or how to hit or how to get out of a hold or how to defend, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. I've been training in martial arts for a very long time, and in my opinion, with technique, you need to practice again and again and again with a partner, with resistance, and able to get it right, and even then, you need to work more. And I just don't think that you can get that out of a 3-4 minute video. What I want to do is basically give these principles for that reason, and the other reason is that the technique that you use in self-defense is the last link on a very long chain. If you're able to get the whole first part right, you might not even need that link. And in my opinion, sometimes the first links that lead up, the first events that lead up to contact, to self-defense, sometimes are much more important than that last link. If we want to talk about self-defense, the first thing we need to do is ask ourselves, what exactly is self-defense? In my opinion, self-defense means self-preservation. It means that when I leave my house in the morning and I come back at the evening, I wasn't hurt in any kind of way. No scars, no bruises, no cuts, not mentally and not physically. On the other hand, no one harassed me, no one traumatized me. That's part of self-defense. And we've been doing this from a very young age. If in your country you drive on the right side of the road, like in Israel, then you were probably taught as a kid that when you want to cross the road, first of all, you look left, then you look right, then you look left again, you make sure there's no cars, and then you cross the street. That's self-defense. You've probably been told that it's better to cross at a crossway and not in the middle of the street. That's also self-defense. On the contrast to that, if I'm walking around with my head in my screen, in the phone, right? And I have earphones in my ears, and I'm walking down the street like this, I bump into a pole or into a person, that's not self-defense. I'm not defending myself, I'm not taking care of myself. You might be wondering, why make a video then? That's kind of obvious. Fair enough. The idea is to take those principles, to take those ideas and open them into something more complicated. How do I take that kind of behavior and adjust it to work against violence, against the threat of violence, against harassment and sexual harassment? How do I behave if I work in a dangerous neighborhood or I live in a dangerous neighborhood? Now, I want to give you an example to how this works. You see, if you're like me, you like action movies. And if you're not, well, too bad, but you've probably seen them anyway. And a lot of these movies, there's this trope where the hero is real cool and not looking around, and he's real calm, and, you know, it looks like he's not aware of his surroundings. And then, out of nowhere, an enemy attacks him from the back of the head, out of an impossible angle to recognize. And somehow, by sixth sense or spidey sense, he's able to turn around, take the enemy down, and go back to his paper like nothing happened. I'll be the first one to admit that it's really cool. Those scenes are awesome. The problem is it's unrealistic and it's fictional. Reality is a little more complicated. I'll be the first one to admit that I cannot respond to an attack if I don't see it coming. More so, I would say that most people won't be able to respond to an attack if they see it coming and they don't have a plan how to deal with it. Now we came to a problem, you see, because on one hand, what I was trying to establish is that you can't be unaware of your surroundings. You can't be with your head in the phone. You need to look around, right? The extreme on the other end is that you can't exactly be super stressed out and really aware, all the time aware, looking hands up, where's the enemy, where's the threat, what's next? That's being paranoid, and it is dangerous and unhealthy. How do we navigate between the two extremes? Okay, so to be able to navigate between them, I want to give you a tool. The tool I want to give you guys is called the traffic light. Now, our traffic light is made out of 5 lights instead of 3. And when I say our, I don't mean the Israeli traffic light, I mean the self-defense traffic light. Our traffic light is made out of white, green, orange, red, and black. The higher you are on the traffic light, the calmer you are. The lower you are, the more stressed out. Each level on the light is made by our surroundings. The surroundings tell me how I should react and what level I should be. The level tells me how I should behave and where my focus should be, how relaxed or how aware I should be. The thing is, we always want to be on the top. What happens during the day, we might get pushed down to a level where we need to be more aware, and we're always trying to go back up and not escalate things worse. That's part of the idea. Now, to be more clear on the subject, we're going to give you some examples. Follow me. We're the first color of the traffic light. The first color is the color white. I'm in the comfort of my home. The door is locked. I'm not dressed for a night out, and I can simply sit on my couch and enjoy a good cup of coffee. This is the essence of the color white. I don't have to be alert because I'm in a safe environment. We left the comfort and safety of our homes and went out into the world. And so, we moved from the color white to the color green. So, what does that mean? It means that from this point forward, I have to be aware of my surroundings. Now, I want to be clear. This doesn't mean that I'm afraid of my surroundings. I'm not worried if someone would jump from behind that car and attack me. No. It means that I'm not indifferent to my environment. If I'm walking down the street, I can't be with my phone in my hand and my head and my face in my screen because I won't be aware of what's in front of me. I might knock into someone, or worse, someone might knock into me. If someone approaches me, I maintain a safe distance. If there's cars in the street, I won't jump on the road because I can get hit by a car. That is the color green. Now, it's especially important because the color green is where we'll be most of the day, because most situations are like this. I'm not in danger, but I need to make sure that I keep it that way. Also, I want to be in the color green because I want to be calm. Now, if I do recognize danger, or something makes me feel uncomfortable or stressed, that will be the color orange. We'll be there in a minute. When I feel uncomfortable, or I recognize potential danger, or I recognize potential threat, that is when I enter the color orange. It is important that I don't doubt myself. I don't question why I feel uncomfortable. I don't question myself why I think that person is a threat. I accept the way I feel and I react accordingly. There are two main differences between the color green and the color orange. The first difference has to do with being focused. When I'm in the color green, I'm not focusing on anything specific. I'm simply being aware of my surroundings. Contrast to that, when I'm in the color orange, I'm focusing on the threat. I'm focusing on whatever makes me feel uncomfortable. The second difference has to do with alertness. When I'm in the color green, I'm not highly alert. The idea is to be calm as possible. When I'm in the color orange, I'm being more alert. Now, that doesn't mean stressful amounts of alert, just alert enough to recognize that I have to do something to get out of the situation. The goal of the color orange is calmly and safely removing myself from the uncomfortable or dangerous situation that I'm in, and removing myself from the color orange back to the color green. In our case, I'm walking down a street. On the sidewalk, in my way, there's a tall man. He looks threatening to me. Because of his height, because he looks strong, I can't see one of his hands. Maybe he's holding a weapon. And he's in my way in such a way that I can't go pass him without being near him. So, to remove myself from the situation and get to my objective, which is going towards the junction in this case, I simply cross the street, therefore opening a safe distance between us and continuing on my way. After I cross the street, once in a while, I'll look at him just to make sure that he's not following me. Once he's out of my sight and now I am out of his sight, I have successfully removed myself from the color orange back to the color green. It is possible that in other cases, the threat might be bigger. For instance, this person that was in my way. Maybe I know him. Maybe I think that the chances that he would attack me are much higher. So maybe simply crossing the street might not be enough. In that case, I can always backtrack and find another route. It's all a matter of how dangerous I think the situation is. But in either case, my solution has to be calm. It has to be simple. When I can't remove myself from the color orange back to the color green, and I receive new information indicating danger, that is when I enter the color red. Now I want to be clear. Simply being for a long time in orange doesn't mean I automatically enter red. I enter red when I receive new information that clearly indicates danger. When I'm in the color red, I realize I'm going to have to act soon. So I gather as much information as possible from the environment. I gather information about myself. Do I have any tools I can use? I gather information about the environment. Is there any objects that I can use to my aid, or any objects that can be used against me? Are there any escape routes? I gather information about my assailant. Where is his hands? Is he alone? Does he have any weapons? I use this information to map a plan of action. When the main objective is to keep myself safe and be removed from the danger. I can do this by escaping, or if necessary, inflicting damage to the assailant. But I need to remember that my goal is to keep myself from harm and not necessarily inflict damage. Those of you that train in martial arts probably witnessed the color red. It's when you're practicing drills. Your partner is about to attack you, and now you're ready. You probably know what they're going to do, and you're planning what you are going to do. And now, you're just waiting to act. That is a color red. Let's go back to our example. I wasn't able to remove myself from the color orange to the color green. I crossed the street to maintain a safe distance between me and this person. However, he has spotted me, and now he's crossing the street and moving towards me with purpose. I have entered the color red. So, I have to start planning. I remove my bag from my back in a non-aggressive fashion to avoid any unwanted attention. I bring it forward. I spot an escape route. I look at the person and I start to scan him. I look for key points like where are his hands and if he's holding any weapons. If he proceeds to approach me, I tell him to keep his distance. If he's walking towards me aggressively, I demand that he keeps his distance. I would say something of the sort of, stay back. If he's walking towards me in a non-aggressive fashion, then I don't want to ignite any aggressive behavior. So I would simply start a conversation. I would say something like, hello, hi, good morning, good afternoon. Anything that would make him talk back to me calmly, and that would probably make him stop in his place. Either way, now we're standing in front of each other. My bag is in my hands. I have a plan in my head, and I'm ready to react to whatever he does. Now, maybe I was wrong. Maybe what I read as aggressive behavior was him coming towards me fast because I dropped my wallet and he wanted to give it back to me. In that case, I'll apologize, admit that I was startled, and thank him. But here's the thing. I would rather be prepared because I misread a situation than be uncomfortable to be prepared, although I know I should be, and put myself in danger. We reach the color black. The color black is the color of action. It's the striking, it's the blocking, it's the evading, and the escape. is the execution of the plan that I made in the color red. When I'm in the color red, I'm highly alert and I'm ready for action. Once I see something that demands my reaction, I act and execute the plan without hesitation or doubt. In our video, we didn't show you the color black. The reason is, like I mentioned earlier, we don't show technique. We teach alertness and self-defense behavior. In this case, you learned the traffic light. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something that you can take with you everywhere now. If you liked our video, please give us a like, subscribe, show a friend. If you have any questions regarding self-defense, please leave a comment below and we can get back to you, or maybe even make a video about it. Hope you had a good time. Stay safe.